a service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC Worldwide and Jib Jab greetings. I'm Bud Lowell. Your full AccuWeather forecast is always found on the top of your CNC local news page. And the start of another week brings us our weekly look at gasoline prices across the Rochester area. The average is down by 1 cent per gallon over the past week, with wide variations in price from station to station. We've seen anything from $4 to $3.90 per gallon for regular unleaded gas over the past week around the area. The statewide average is currently $4.10. In the 5-county area around Rochester, the prices average $4.04, and that's down from $4.05 a week ago. A month ago, the price was $3.90 per gallon. Gas prices stopped rising and leveled off over the past 2 weeks because the cost of crude oil on the world market did the same. When the Federal Reserve announced another round of quantitative easing, increasing the money supply to keep the economy from sliding back into recession, crude oil prices took a tumble. That's according to the AAA's fuel gauge report, which also tracks the daily gas prices for the retail outlets around the state and around the nation. Historically, gas prices tend to fall from September through Christmas. AAA expects this trend, which has been true for 7 of the previous 9 years, to continue for this year. The Livingston County Board of Elections officers opened the last uncounted ballot in the Republican Party primary race for Livingston County District Attorney, and once again, the race is a tie. That means Livingston County Republican Committee Chairman Lowell Conrad now picks the winner. The committee endorsed former prosecutor Eric Sheener before the primary, which means he is probably the candidate. The race between Sheener and former Livonia Town Judge Steve Sessler was too close to call election night. After the absentee ballots were counted, it was a dead tie. But some ballots hadn't been counted because of irregularities in the way they were filled out or submitted. Last week, State Supreme Court Justice John Ark reviewed those ballots and ruled that 5 could be counted. Adding those votes left Sessler a 1-vote lead over Sheener. One more absentee vote remained. The judge said it should be opened Monday morning. They did, and it was a vote for Eric Sheener, and that made it a tie again at 1,881 votes each. It's a day of mourning at the State University College at Brockport campus. Officials over the weekend identified the student murdered early Saturday morning as Alexandra Alex Kogut from the Utica area community of New Hartford, New York. SUNY Brockport President John Halstead said the 18-year-old freshman was majoring in communications. In a statement, Halstead said, "On behalf of our entire campus community, I offer my deepest condolences to the family and friends of Alexandra Kogut. Our thoughts and prayers go out to her loved ones at this difficult time. These are trying times for our campus, but I know we will pull together and support each other as we move through the coming days." A spokesman for the Kogut family released a statement saying Alexandra Kogut was a bright, beautiful young woman who was thrilled to be beginning her college education. Her demeanor was truly infectious. She will forever be missed. Her family is very grateful for the tremendous outpouring of love and support that they have received from so many friends and neighbors. A 21-year-old New Hartford man was arraigned Saturday in Swedentown Court on a second-degree murder charge, accused of brutally beating Kogut to death in her dorm room. Clayton Whittemore was arrested at a thruway rest stop in DeWitt hours after the young woman was found dead in her McLean Hall dorm room early Saturday morning. He pleaded not guilty and was remanded to the Monroe County Jail by Justice Robert Connors. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for later this week. News Channel 2 in Utica said the 21-year-old Whittemore was a star hockey player for the New Hartford High School and helped his team win back-to-back state hockey titles in 2009 and 2010. Campus police said Whittemore was not a SUNY Brockport student, but was dating Kogut. Campus Police Chief Robert Keogh said the girl was brutally beaten and suffered extensive trauma to her upper body. The felony complaint against Whittemore says he admitted to causing the victim's death, although he did plead not guilty. She died between 1 and 2:30 Saturday morning. Police caught the suspect at about 4 a.m. SUNY Brockport students held a candlelight vigil for Kogut on Saturday night and another vigil with a balloon release on Sunday evening. The college plans to develop a dating violence awareness program. The family of a Penfield soldier says he was killed over the weekend during combat in Afghanistan. Sergeant First Class Daniel Metcalf was 29. The sergeant was serving with the 173rd Airborne and was on a foot patrol when they came under small arms fire. Sergeant Metcalf was an 11-year veteran of the Army. He was a Penfield High School graduate. He is survived by his wife and 3 children. And over the weekend, County Executive Maggie Brooks announced that the 3 lions at the Seneca Park Zoo's new Step into Africa exhibit now have names. The lions are Zuri, Asha, and Chester. These were chosen out of nearly 3,000 suggested names submitted by 950 people who took part in a naming contest. The name Zuri is from African Swahili. It means beautiful, and that goes to the older and larger female lion. Asha is also of African Swahili origin. It means life. That goes to the younger female. And the male lion is Chester, as you might expect. That comes from Rochester. The trio came to the zoo from an animal park near Pretoria, South Africa last December. They made their public debut May 17th. To the left of this player window, you can find links to these and other stories. And at the bottom of this page in that gray bar, links for you to use. Post us news updates, things you've heard about, things you want to have checked out, things that are bothering you. News stories that you've written, we'll take a look at them and put them up here on CNC Worldwide for everybody to see. We also want wedding announcements, birth business announcements, shout-outs to people you think deserve a well done, any of that sort of thing, because we're your community news resource. Next news as it happens, updates when necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.